Hello, namaste, beloveds. I hope you are having a great day, a great week so far, even though from a lot of us, well, actually all of us here in the States, it's still Tuesday, but for my friends in Australia and New Zealand, it's Wednesday already. So hello. um, One of the things that I've kind of been thinking over as like with anything, the only constant is change. And so one of the things that I've been kind of thinking about over the last couple of weeks is just how my idea of awareness has changed since the first YouTube video that I made. And I just posted it here. And I was looking back on it because um, I think one of the things I think that's coming up for me when I first made that first video was just how I started to really kind of understand how important awareness was. And in just doing all this work up until this point, I've just really, it's my thoughts on awareness is just really, it's naturally evolved. And one of the things that's really kind of coming to mind is how incredibly empowering awareness can be if you allow it to be empowering. And I think one of the things that, looking back on it, comparing to where I was then when I made the first video and now at this very moment, is just how much deeper we can go with our awareness if we feel, if we at least feel brave enough comes to mind. But I want to say, and I know it's pretty much the same thing, but if we don't feel so terrified that the fear outweighs what we can discover about ourselves and what we're capable of becoming aware of. And that's the thing. A lot of times it's we either make excuses as to why we don't want to be aware or why we're choosing to be, for lack of a better word, ignorant of what's going on in our situation and surroundings. And I think that's a really where some people call it synchronicity. Some people call it reticulating activating system, but it's pretty much the same thing. You are asking your brain questions and your brain is answering. And so the scientific term for that is reticulating activating system. And in the woo community, in the spiritual community, it's called synchronicities. Case in point, before you get your first car, like when I got my car, the car that I presently have now, I think I maybe saw two of them anywhere where I live in Chattanooga, and it's a Volkswagen, right? So we have a plant here. So it's like, how about as soon as within like the first 2 weeks, me owning this car, I swear I saw like six rounding every corner, just because my brain was thinking, oh, I have this new car, just Volkswagen. And so you see it everywhere because you're training your brain to see those things. So again, when you're asking yourself, how can I best take better care of myself? What can I do to have loving, lasting, awesome relationships? What can I do to find work that fulfills me and lights me up? Your brain will start answering questions for you. And it's up to you to be willing to listen to that answer and then adjust and figure out, okay, well, truly, is this how I feel about this answer? Do I want to take this particular, yoga class, or, start in adult intramural tennis, which I have done, and it was lots of fun. And you don't know until you ask, and then you really don't know until you try and actually sit down with yourself and figure that out. And that may be as simple as, making a list of things that you might actually consider that you want to do for yourself. It may be going into work tomorrow and like sitting down with yourself and just, do I want to work here? You may or may not want to quit. I don't suggest it unless you have something, kind of lined up, or you might just say, screw it, I just quit. But usually most people pivot into something else. And that's something you might consider doing, just pivoting into something else that you really want to do and you want to try out and see if it's something that you want to do. So as far as diving deep into self-care, I think awareness is definitely a great place to start because it allows you to be empowered if you're willing to go that deep, if you're willing to ask yourself potentially scary questions of, and is what I am doing making me truly happy? Is what I am doing, the people I'm surrounding myself with, just anything? Is this what I want? So yes or no, maybe, who knows? But the thing is, it's how how you feel. And I know, a lot of times it can be, we're kind of afraid of the people around us, how this new us is becoming. And that's fair. I mean, it's change. I mean, change can be potentially kind of like, oh my God, but it can be fun. There's a lot of potential in mixing with the parts that are scary. But if you're not unhappy, even if you notice something just feels just not fulfilling, something that it doesn't even have to feel like terrible or awful or just yuck. You can still you can perfectly love where you work, but maybe you want to get a promotion or get some training to do something else, or hell, run your own company. You can do that. That's an option. So, you have a choice. You always have a choice. Even when you don't think you can make a choice, that's a choice. You're choosing not to make your choice. But I want you to really get that awareness is empowering. And it has the potential to be fully empowering, but you have to be willing to own that. And if you're choosing not to own that, not making other people wrong or bad or inferior or less than because you are choosing not to be empowered. It's the self-care and awareness is personal responsibility. So you can't unknow that, and you can't unhear what I just said, because I just said it and you just heard it. So not sorry. So I love you so very much, and I hope you have a fantastic day. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, or anything, please feel free to comment below, and have a fantastic rest of the evening. Take care.